Now I feel like if you're Iran, now you're like super mindful, right? Because you're getting bullied by the actual like secret Jew, you know, plus his like powerful big bully friend. It's like David and Goliath, except like both of them are against you. Breaking, the US has completed bombing of Iran nuclear sites from the Spectator Index. Did we bunker bust the mountain? Is that what we did? Source from Trump. Okay, I see no posts here. Did you take a screenshot of this, or our good friend Luckner got a picture? We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Damn. That puts Iran in a pretty awkward spot. Because don't they have to retaliate in some way against a US base or something? Can the Ayatollah really afford to just sit there and go, okay, well, we just got smacked the fuck up. Maybe just proxies attack US bases? Well, I feel like Iran would have to respond directly now, right? Like Iran tried to respond directly with after Soleimani was killed, yeah?
Truly I say unto you.
Well, I've seen this before. Okay. Damn. Born too late to deploy to the Middle East. Born too early to deploy to the Middle East. Born just in time to deploy to the Middle East base. Yo, somebody pointed out this thing earlier. Is this meme for real? That Trump always says 2 weeks because it's like, it's far enough away that everybody will forget about it, but it's close enough that it seems like it's going to actually happen. Has anybody...
Can take 2 nuclear, I say, okay, you can take 2 weeks for that approval. We're going to be sending letters out in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, to countries, telling them what the deal is.
And do you still believe that Putin actually wants to end the war?
I can't tell you that, but I'll let you know in about 2 weeks, within 2 weeks. But I could answer that question better in 2 weeks or 4 weeks from now. So we can just sit down, and I'll do this at some point over the next 2 weeks. I'll tell you about that in a month from now or 2 weeks from now.
Trust President Putin.
You know, in about 2 weeks. You can ask that question in 2 weeks, and we'll see. It'll be out in about less than 2 weeks. Pretty exciting, right?
Does any of this 2 week stuff ever happen? Wait, what the fuck? June 19th, that was 2 days ago. For Trump, 2 weeks is the magic number.
I have a message directly from the president.
This was 2 days ago?
Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future.
Oh, true. 2 weeks is a sprint in agile terms, so he's on agile. Maybe.
I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks.
What exactly would...
Oh, that's why Elon emailed out, give 5 things you've done. They were doing stand-up. That's what he wanted to... I don't actually know that's part of agile or not. I'm just repeating terms I've heard before, okay?
With your...
I'm basically, when it comes to anything having to do with software development, I'm an LLM, okay? I see, and then I combine the words in a way that seems like they make sense, and then I just spit it out, and hopefully it works, okay? That's AI right there.
Iran need to entail?
No enrichment of a uranium, and it would absolutely not... Iran is not absolutely not able to achieve a nuclear weapon.
Is this the first time we've ever bombed Iran? Directly? I believe so. I don't know if the United States has ever attacked Iran directly before. We have attacked Iran directly before. I know that there was some pain over that Strait of Hormuz thing north of Saudi Arabia. What happened here? My brain just... Did Saudi Arabia or the US accidentally shoot down an Iranian commercial airliner? Is that what happened there? I don't know what the outcome for all of that was. We blew up oil rigs in the Gulf, in the ocean. We blew up half their navy in the 1980s. Why is Candace Owens calling Trump deranged? Because Candace Owens is part of the infinite isolationist crowd. So any foreign policy aggression, she's going to hate, even if it comes on behalf of Trump. I'm sure Dave Smith will be freaking out over this, although I feel like all of this was incredibly foreseeable. I don't know why we would imagine the guy who tore up the JCPOA wouldn't be open to attacking Iran in the future, but this strike might get him impeached. Good one. Ready for the infighting and the mental gymnastics from the right? No, I doubt there will be any, right? It's probably to blow up nuclear sites. I don't think Iran could do all in retaliation. I guess now the concern has moved to the legitimacy of the Ayatollah. I feel like it would be hard to, or I don't know, like what his power looks like or how legitimate he appears as a leader, since I don't know what possible response or retaliation they can do to the U.S. blowing their shit up. They just fund proxy groups to kill people in Europe or whatever. Does Iran do that stuff in Europe as much? I feel like they're usually doing shit in the Middle East. That's where they're up to no good at. Bomb Israel more. How much more? How much? I don't know if, is it like known what the stock is for Iranian weapons such that they could bomb Israel enough to continue to get a few through the Arrow 2 and 3 shit. Hezbollah did 2 bombings in Argentina pre-2000s. Kind of fucked up. Trump did this on Shabbat. Wait, is it? What time is it in Israel? No. Shabbat ends on Saturday night, right? It starts on Friday night and it ends on Saturday night. It goes from night through night. They have a bottleneck of launchers, not missiles. They have loads of missiles, but the idea is disrupting their launcher operations severely. Oh yeah, because a lot of those got blown up. I don't get it, but we call it MAGA and anti-war hypocrisy. So why is Trump bombing Iran? Probably because his whole staff and Netanyahu are crying that they can't stop the nuclear weapons, and if Iran starts nuking people, it's going to be bad. Destiny, to be effective politically, shouldn't you be on the side of being against bombing Iran right now? Like the Charlie Kirk strategy of adopting the populist position to be effective politically. You're right, actually. If you're new to my stream, I think that there's an ongoing genocide. I think Iran having nuclear weapons would actually be based. I'm opposed to all forms of military intervention ever because it makes people die, and I think dying is always bad. And therefore, I'm in favor of unilateral disarmament of the entire U.S. military. I don't think we should ever bomb anybody ever. I think we should disarm all of our bombs or give them to more worthy people like China, Russia, and Iran, and defund the police. So are we at war? Doesn't that need congressional approval? I don't know what kind of approval the president needs for strikes on things. Like, I don't think we need congressional approval for the strikes we did in Yemen. I don't think we're at war. I don't think we're going to be at war. I don't even know what the capacity is for Iran to go to war with the United States. I feel like the general standard practice here is Iran has to respond in some way by bombing or attacking some U.S. base. If they announce it ahead of time and say they're going to respond, technically I think that's a good thing because it means that we'll be on alert. So hopefully no U.S. troops die, or very, very, very few die, and then they'll say they had a big victory, and then we'll say we had a big victory, and then stuff goes on, but who knows? Aren't terrorist organizations different from state actors? Iran is not a terrorist organization. Iran is a country. Or are you talking about bombing the Houthis in Yemen versus bombing Iran? Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. Do you need congressional approval to attack a country but not a non-state actor like the Houthis? I mean, the Houthis run half of Yemen, right? Do you think it would actually stop Iran from having a nuke if you blew up their centrifuges to enrich uranium and their uranium stockpiles? Yeah, I would imagine it would hurt that. Yeah. Are they going to hide their facilities? Where are they going to hide their facilities next time? Middle Earth? I mean, and the deepest, biggest mountains they have, I guess. I imagine they already did that with these, right? But can we get 5 big booms for Iran's nuclear reactors? Can Trump bomb Iran while still claiming that we are not at war? It's not like Iran has any means of retaliating, right? I don't think we need a war declaration to go bomb people. But I don't even know what we need war declarations for, I guess. Like, we don't have any against the Houthis. We didn't have any against when we retaliated. Or we didn't need one to assassinate Soleimani, right? Hassan is saying the Democrats would have bombed Iran as well. Yeah, I mean, it's Hassan, obviously. People keep saying we haven't declared war since World War II. I've heard that talking point a lot. But we did get congressional approval for Iraq. That was the authorization for use of military force. So I don't know if I agree with that assessment that we haven't declared war since World War II. Like, we did go through Congress and we did get this joint resolution of the U.S. Congress, which became law authorizing the use of the United States Armed Forces against response to September 11th attacks. Like, this was a thing passed by Congress to target people related to the thing. This is about as close to like a war declaration thing, I guess, as you'll get. But Jesus Christ. God, I love Richard Hanania. There was talk of a high-level meeting between U.S. and Iran, but the effort collapsed because Khamenei was hiding and couldn't be reached. What a coward. He's 86 and supposedly a man of God. Maybe he was reading Jane Austen. Compare him to a real man like Zelensky. Got him. President Trump and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Is that how you pronounce the middle name? I have no idea. Tayyip quietly sought to arrange a meeting between senior U.S. and Iranian officials in Istanbul this week amid Israel's escalating war with Iran, but the effort collapsed when Iran's supreme leader, in hiding due to fears of assassination, couldn't be reached to approve it, according to 3 U.S. officials and a source of direct knowledge of the matter. Oh my God. Bruh, these people are... Israel got the whole Middle East cowering in fear. Jesus Christ. The Turkish C makes a J sound. Oh, like jank. So Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Trump's back channel to Iran failed after Supreme Leader went dark 9 hours ago. Oh, this was published 9 hours ago. Damn. President Trump and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan quietly sought to arrange a meeting between senior U.S. and Iranian officials in Istanbul earlier this week. Efforts collapsed when Iran's supreme leader, in hiding due to fears of assassination. Why it matters. New details of this backchannel effort reveal the extent to which Trump was pushing for a direct meeting with the Iranians, even offering to attend himself if necessary in hopes of striking a nuclear deal and avoiding U.S. military intervention. In the days since, Trump and senior White House officials became less confident that a diplomatic solution was possible and more convinced the U.S. would have to join the war to eliminate the Iranian nuclear program, according to U.S. officials. Driving the news, Trump reiterated on Friday that he will make a decision on whether to join the war in the next 2 weeks, saying he wanted time to see whether or not people come to their senses. I mean, to be fair, if you're Khamenei, are you going anywhere? Are you going to trust Trump on fucking anything? Actually, I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe this might have been a plan to assassinate him. Who the fuck knows? I wouldn't fucking trust Trump. Okay, Trump. He wants to have a meeting to reach peace. This is the guy that tore up the JCPOA. This is the guy who is essentially a Netanyahu recycler. And he's actually like unhinged and insane all at the same time. Like, would you? I don't know if I would trust Trump on anything. Jesus. Trump reiterated on Friday that he will make a decision on whether to join the war. I'm giving him a period of time. We're going to see what that period of time is. And I would say 2 weeks would be the maximum. On Saturday evening, Trump is expected to convene his national security team in the White House Situation Room to discuss on Saturday evening. What is today? Saturday. Okay. Trump is expected to convene his national security team in the White House Situation Room to discuss the war between Israel and Iran, which is entered its 9th day. Do you think they came in and he's like, all right, guys, listen up. All right, guys, check this out. I want to golf tonight. I got to get the fuck out of here. So I'm giving us 10 minutes to think of some shit. Otherwise, I'm pushing the button. We're bombing this bitch. All right. Who's got an idea? Somebody's like, negotiate. It's like, all right, get Khamenei on the phone. We tried him twice, sir, and he didn't pick up either time. All right. Where are the B-52s? What are the stealth ones? Where are those guys at? Sir, we can have those bombs delivered within an hour. That's great. Do I need to be here for that? Or can you just like, oh, the B-2s, can you shoot me an email when those bombs are deployed? Yes, sir. Hegseth, put down your goddamn phone and get off signal. Let's do this, guys. Let's make this clean. Let's make this quick. Best case scenario, I can finish my all 9 holes. I don't know how many holes are in a golf course. And I'll do a press briefing at 10 o'clock tonight and we'll be good to go. 18 holes. I'm sorry. The invisible ones.
A lot of planes, in particular the...
Oh, 7 years old. I don't need this. What stops from Iran just continuing on? Does this really change anything? Well, I mean, like, it shows that at the very least under this president, we're willing to bomb Iran directly. I mean, now I feel like if you're Iran, now you're like super mind, right? Because you're getting bullied by the actual like secret Jew, you know, plus his like powerful big bully friend. It's like David and Goliath, except like both of them are against you, right? You've got David, the dude backed by, I guess, the fucking hand of God, apparently, the Mossados. And then you have Goliath is like also on his team, which is the US, which can basically do whatever the fuck we want. And then who are you crying to for help? Assad's not there anymore. Russia is losing all of their shit to drones and are mired down in Ukraine, which is funny and tragic. Well, no, it's funny. I feel like you're just kind of fucked. Your nuclear facilities get bozoed. Rebuilding them and reacquiring the resources for them. I'm pretty sure, weren't some of their like Iranian, or did this happen last time? Were some of their like lead scientists and everything executed this time as well? Plus the leadership, like Iranian's been pretty decapitated. You're close to, I feel like you're close to a, like a little bit of a dream scenario for Israel now, which is probably on the verge of coming because I don't know how, does the Ayatollah lose its legitimacy at this point? Like now you're the Ayatollah, you've lost everything. A lot of your military leadership is gone. I said before, the map is degraded significantly for you. Now your nuclear program has been completely fucked. Everybody is like all over you. Israel has no respect for you. People like Jordan and Saudi Arabia are intercepting missiles from you. The United States is unhinged and insane. You have no more allies left. You can't like even use a pager in your country without wondering, like, you're looking for, like, who sold these pagers again? We got these from the guy said his name was Beeperstein. And you're like, how many of these did we issue? I don't know. I feel like you're just kind of mindful. Reaction with a nuclear plant. So generally speaking, just randomly blowing up, especially low-level enriched nuclear material, doesn't make it explode. Remember, like explosions or bombs, like TNT and stuff, these are chemical reactions that are determined by how, like chemical properties, but like a nuclear bomb, these are nuclear, like a chemical reaction shouldn't make a nuclear explosion happen unless it's in a fairly carefully controlled environment, like a nuclear weapon that's like making the nuclear material come into itself and all that bullshit. Especially if it's low grade uranium. Your worst case scenario is probably like some type of nuclear contamination or something, although I don't even know how significant that would be here. I'm not sure. The GBU-57 series MOP, last precision guided bunker buster. At least 20 were built by November of 2015. People are saying that this is likely what we used. Oh, the 30,000 pound big duders. Oh no. This was this morning? Okay, now I know. It's definitely not happening.
Now, so what we're looking at here is we're being told this is, I think, anywhere from just shy of 200 to 300 feet in depth. There are all kind of reports out there of 1,000 foot, but I think that's more propaganda. So what you end up doing is if you saw the movie, the latest Top Gun movie, eerily enough, this is that plot kind of coming to fruition in real life. It's not just one bomb. It'll be a bomb after a bomb to get through that penetration.
And just lastly, that's what you're talking about. Can penetrate up to 200 feet below the surface. And then, of course, we'll see it try and put the second one in there and go down in there. Yeah. Let's bring in David Burke, our Top Gun and former Top Gun instructor, retired U.S. Marine Corps officer. Now, David, I don't know how well we did that, but you know this better than anybody. Talk to us about, questions over whether or not this can successfully be done.
Joey Jones just crushed that explanation. You guys hit the nail on the head. So really well done. This absolutely can be done. There is not a cave in the world deep enough to defend itself against the American military if it needs to hit it. And you described the weapon system and the aircraft and the mating of that exactly right. Now, this is a hard problem to solve, but it is absolutely a solvable problem with this system.
Jesus. When the B-2 bombers are deploying these weapons, these are usually done
at so what we're looking
pretty high altitudes, right? Like they don't have to be, like I imagine it's probably better to drop from a high altitude so it picks up more force. So where would the planes have launched from? I don't know. We have bases all over the Middle East, no? Can they fly from Turkey to wherever these reactors were? I don't know what the ranges of these are for if they're carrying this weight in ordnance. I don't know what the range is. Guam or Diego Garcia? Diego Garcia is where they launched from. Guaranteed, says Rugal, island south of India. Iran threatened the Gulf countries that if it launched from one of their bases, they will get hit. Okay. So what's the overarching opinion on the bombing? It seems Destiny audiences loving it for whatever reason, which actually confuses the out of me. They should have bombed Tel Aviv. That would have been truly based, and then the U.S. could have saved us from the ongoing genocide. How can you bomb Iran when there's a genocide going on? The Wikipedia says the B-2 Spirit can travel 6K miles without refueling. I imagine it depends on what it's carrying, though, right? Like, if you've got a ton of ordnance on board, I imagine your mission range is significantly decreased, right? That'd be my guess. Somebody said, this was a good breakdown from 10 hours ago. From user Imperator Eternal, there are now clear signs that the U.S. Air Force is executing a large-scale stealth bomber mission, potentially an imminent long-range strike. If it is not a strike, the U.S. is at least going to lengths to make it look like one. 2 separate flights of B-2 stealth bombers, each consisting of 3 to 4 aircraft, departed Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri around 2 a.m. The flights were supported by a massive post-takeoff aerial refueling operation involving at least 6 to 8 KC-135 and KC-46 tankers. This is the plane my mom flew, right? For the Looking Glass? An unusually high number, even for long-range missions, suggesting a large number of heavily loaded aircraft. GBU-57/MOP weigh in at 30,000 pounds, and B-2s have been configured to carry 2. A second refueling arc took place over the Pacific near San Francisco between 6:30 and 7:30 a.m., involving at least 5 more tankers. A third aerial refueling NOTAM in the shape of a B-2 holding pattern is active over the Hawaii region around 11 a.m. This route, Whiteman, Pacific, Hawaii, and onward west, is consistent with stealth strike doctrine and bypasses contested Eurasian airspace. If the mission continues west at current pacing, a time on target over Iran would likely fall between 6 to 10 p.m. EST. Jesus. Wait, who the f is this guy? Was this guy in the signal group? What the f? Yeah, this guy bombs. President Trump is reportedly scheduled to a national security meeting in the Oval at 6 p.m. EST, a detail that aligns suspiciously well with a possible strike window. An edit. User Foshizzle Shindig points out that there are in fact MOPs on board the B-2, points out that if there are in fact MOPs on board the B-2, it cannot safely land with them on board and would have to jettison them. Do they equip these bombs in mid-air? Or how does that work? Can they take off with the bombs, but they can't land with the bombs? While the B-2 could technically land, it wouldn't exactly be safe or advisable, and there's no clear precedent of doing it with live MOPs, because the landing weight is heavier? And depleted fuel wouldn't make up the difference. You need to be a lot lighter for landing than takeoff. Okay. At least none I've heard of. Please feel typo, idiot, to correct me. The immediate refueling makes this scenario more likely, increasing the odds of an actual strike mission, nor repositioning, or at least one intended to look like one. This is not a drill-sized movement. B-2s almost never fly in numbers like this, and certainly not with this level of global tanker support, unless something significant is underway. While with B-52s and F-22s already pre-positioned in the region, and 3 carrier battle groups, if it is not a strike, it is intended to look like one, and certainly would appear to have the ability to become one, should the order be given. The public nature suggests that Iran has been given one last chance at diplomacy. Who are you? Removed. Wait. Hey! 1 hour ago. I've seen a Hercules and Galaxies depart Guam in the last hour, but didn't see anything coming in. Was he just like a normal dude that lives in Guam? Or he must be, I'm guessing, he has some kind of military background, or is it an extreme hobbyist? Why is the pursuit of a diplomatic solution so stupid? I mean, in a vacuum, I think diplomacy would be the best thing. But the problem is, who are you diplomacying with? Donald Trump? Like, Donald Trump is a madman. He's a retard, and he's malicious. And he's already shown like bad faith towards Iran in multiple ways, right? Supporting Israeli strikes against Iran and assassinating Iranian leadership, like with Soleimani, and then tearing up the JCPOA. Like, is that the guy you want to negotiate with? Is Donald Trump? If you're Iran, probably not. Destiny, why is it wrong to not want either country to be bombed? Y'all are literally acting like there was ever only one possibility here, because we have no way. How do you compel Iran not to bomb somebody? The tears that you have streaming down your face that you're smashing onto your keyboard on X can't really compel Iran not to do anything. We have no, there's no way to, I don't know, it doesn't seem like they give a f about stuff like that. So, Destiny, doesn't it undermine the perception that Israel is in a bad neighborhood where everyone wants to destroy them, when Iran is the best shot at destroying Israel, yet nobody's defending them and are even intercepting their rockets? Nobody's defending Iran because Israel has destroyed all of the enemies there. I don't understand why sometimes you guys say things that fully and wholly support Israeli arguments and you're not realizing it. Like, you're like, well, isn't it true now that nobody supports Iran? So, like, what's the argument? Like, well, yeah, nobody supports them because Israel blew up Hamas, Israel blew up Hezbollah, the United States bombed the Houthis, the Syrian regime has fallen. Yeah, no shit. So negotiating with Trump is kind of off the table for Iran. Is their only option now to escalate? Do you think they will? And how much damage could they potentially do? I don't know. I don't know enough about the current political stability in Iran, but that would be like, it feels to me like there's 3 options on the table. But like, again, I don't have like huge insight here. Like, the first would be Iran has to counterattack in some way to show that it's still a legitimate country. So meaning they're going to say, we're going to bomb one of your US bases or something. So they would have to do that. Assuming they don't do much damage, maybe they could walk away with some kind of, is it Pyrrhic or Pyrrhic victory? Pyrrhic victory? They could walk away with some kind of thing to hold their head high about, and the US would say, well, they didn't do call. So that'd be the first thing. The second thing would be Iran not doing anything, which feels like it would be catastrophic. I don't know how, if the regime survives doing nothing. And then the third thing would be, I guess, regime change, because they lose all their legitimacy, and then maybe this will result from number 2, and then eventually the Ayatollah gets kicked out or pushed out and some other leader steps aside. I don't know if the regime can survive not responding to this. Like, they just got doubled so hard by Israel and the United States. I don't even know. One, at too great a cost to have been worthwhile for the... Oh, no, it wouldn't be a PR because they wouldn't live. Or they wouldn't have won. I don't know what you would call it then. Like trying to save face, I guess. I don't know. Do you expect OPEC to punish the U.S. hard for this? No, OPEC hates Iran. Everybody hates Iran. Everybody in the Gulf hates Iran, okay? Nobody likes Iran. All the Gulf states hate... Nobody wants... Or at least Saudi Arabia doesn't like... I wonder what their relationship is like. How do OPEC negotiations go when some of them are like so opposed to each other? I don't know what like their internal conversations look like. Because Iran is part of OPEC. Who knows? Maybe that's just a really awkward meeting. They all just want to make money? Well, yeah, but right now I feel like shit's pretty so who knows? What if Israel goes for regime change now that the U.S. has acted? I mean, if they could assassinate the leader, would Israel do it if they had the ability to? Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? The thing is, I don't even know if... I don't know what Trump would even say about that. It would depend on what the people around him are saying, I guess. Trump is just so fucking unhinged and crazy. Like, who the fuck knows? Who knows?